Hey guys, how are ya? Happy Wednesday, halfway through the week almost. Here's our daily just examples of what we have going on for homework today. Nothing too strenuous, I don't think. A couple new things, so make sure you listen to the whole video and whatnot. Well, first reminder: make sure all your homework's getting turned in. I'm getting a pretty good chunk of people's homework. Try to get it in daily. So if you get done with work today, have send it off to me, and so that way I can start looking it over. I've been looking it over, talking to a couple parents. If they have corrections, please take a picture of it and resend it back to me, so that way I know that you got it and that they are your child's understanding the work. Okay. Hopefully everyone's been working hard on their report cards, or not report cards. Sorry, book reports. Hopefully you're deep into those book reports and working on those. You should already probably be almost halfway through your book or so. And I sent forms home today. On that sheet, you had a form. There's a first and second grade form, and there's a third and fourth grade form. They're pretty simple forms, just character, who is the story about. Sometimes there's usually most books there's lots of characters, so put all of them in there. Settings, there could be more than one setting as well, so make sure you put all the settings in place where it takes place, and then plot. What happens at the beginning, the middle, the end. Some of the stuff we've been working on in language class, so it shouldn't be too hard. Make sure you write complete sentences, write nice and clearly. Also make sure your title, author's name is on there, who wrote the story, and sometimes it says illustrator. Illustrators, who if there's pictures, who drew the pictures. So make sure you have all of that stuff there as well. All right. Today we have a social studies assignment. This isn't due until Friday. This is going to be a little bit trickier. You're going to have to do some online research. It's going to be a map of the whole entire world, and you're going to have to color like the continents a different color. You're going to have to find things like the equator and the prime meridian. Tomorrow night at 7 during our Zoom meeting, I'm going to do a little bit more in depth with regards to that assignment and just kind of do a social studies lesson. So if you want to join me at 7 o'clock next on Wednesday night, so Wednesday evening, so tonight, I guess, Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock, make sure you jump on because I'm going to be on there and go over that assignment in a little bit more depth. So and that way I can answer any questions that anyone might have. So please jump on if you are available tomorrow evening, or tonight. Sorry, I keep saying tomorrow. Wednesday evening, 7 o'clock, Zoom meeting. Be there. Social studies. Spelling. You guys should be finished with the first two pages. Today you're working on page 3. Page 3 is the ones that you have to find the mistakes and then write your own few sentences. Make sure you include a sentence in that. Keep studying for your spelling test. By the end of the day today, I'll have all the words up online, so you can practice online a couple times if you'd like. And we'll take the test on Friday for that. All right. Today, kindergarten. You guys, you have a sheet that looks like this. You have to tell me which one of those numbers is the greatest. Greatest means smallest, or biggest. Sorry, I almost said smallest. Biggest, and color it red. So you got to tell me, figure out which number is the biggest. Color that card red, and on the back side, you've been doing an awesome job of this. This is just, except today they don't give you any numbers. You got to start up here in the very top corner and write number 1, 2, 3, all the way up. The last one's going to be 20. Write those nice and neat. Also, kindergarten, don't forget to be writing those sentences that we went through in our lesson for Super Kids yesterday. Make sure you write that sentence two times. Also, make sure you can read it all. Practice reading that sentence a couple times, so that way we're working with it. And also remember, there's that crazy word the and the crazy word of. We're going to be working with of on Thursday a little bit more, okay? First graders, your math assignment today, you're learning how to measure things. So you're going to be getting a ruler, and you're going to start at you're going to look at the side that has the 1 to 12, and you're going to measure things on your first page. So it's going to look like this, or your second page, I guess. Your first page is all subtracting and adding problems, but then you got to measure how many inches it is. Use the 1 to 12 side, don't use the 1 to 30 side, and make sure you write those all in there, how long it is. So put your quarter 0 on one end, and then wherever number it ends on, that's where you put that. Okay, shouldn't be too hard. Make sure this is kind of our first time using a ruler, so make sure your corner of your ruler is always on that first dot, and that way I'll give you a good measurement. But we're going to work on that a little bit more throughout the next couple of assignments. Your assignment today for math shouldn't be too hard. On page 90, lesson 97, you're going to be writing the number 88 at the very top. In the middle part, 2 and 3 are going to be a little bit new. So I'm going to read number 2. It says, Gary had 2 number cards. One had 13 and one had 25. Tom gave him 3 more cards, one with the number 42 16, and 21. So what you're going to do is going to draw 5 different cards because he started with 2 and his friend gave him 3 more. So draw 5 different rectangles and write those numbers on them. Okay, all 5 of those numbers. That'll give you your answer to the first one because we want to know how many cards he has. So he started with 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3 equals 5. But then for number 3, you got to take those 5 numbers that we wrote on those cards and put them in order from least, the smallest, to the greatest, which is the biggest. Okay? So you're going to write those in order, those numbers in order right here on the line. Okay? Shouldn't be too hard, I don't think. Number 4, you got to draw what we did the other day where we drawing a congruent shape. Same size, same shape, same place. Exactly, make it exactly equal. And then tell me how many sides does that shape have. 5, you got to tell me what goes in that blank to finish that adding problem. And number 6, you're just adding 10 to each one of those numbers. The only thing that's different on the back side is you got to circle the one that is different. There's 4 objects on number 1. Circle which one is different. And then the rest of it, I think, is all exactly the same. Just different numbers, different shapes, and whatnot. So same exact concepts. Shouldn't be too hard, I don't think. All right, for your math today, first graders. First part, 191 and 192, this deals with a little quiz. You got to fill in the bubble next to the correct answer to each one of those questions for those 2 pages on Johnny Appleseed. I made a mistake. Johnny Appleseed was your last story in your hardcover book. So if you want to, you can go back in your book and take a look at the answers there. That was my mistake. Sorry about that. I sent that video last week when I really didn't need to because you still had that story. So if you need to go back and look up some of those answers, you can in your book. 193 is dealing with some spelling words. The spelling words in that box on the right hand side, they are frog, trees, out, now, filled, and checking. And then what you need to do is write the word that matches each or goes along with each one of those. So like tree, which one goes with tree? Trees. Fill, filled. So you got to figure out which one kind of has the smaller word in those. And then at the bottom part, write the 2 spelling words that have the ow sound, like owl. Okay? Then on the back side, you need to write those same exact words, except now you're going to write the spelling word that means the same as the dark print word. So the first one, you can hear her shout. My tooth fell. It's got to rhyme with shout. Out. So you write out in there for number 1. 4, 5, and 6 we've done a lot of times. Find the one spelling word in that box that is spelled wrong, circle it, and then on the line, write it correctly. All right, first graders? If you have any questions, feel free to get in contact with me. I'll be able to answer as many as I can, okay? For Rodney, you're reading today. You first got to read the story, The Thing in the Alley. It's page 100 in your hardcover books. That's where it starts. Answer those 5 questions at the end on a separate piece of paper. And then on page 32, you're going to cause and effect. What causes something to happen. Cause and effect. So because I was holding on to an ice cream cone in the summertime and not eating it, what's the effect? I got a melted ice cream cone all over my hand. I made a mess. Because I wasn't paying attention when the person threw the ball at me, the effect? I got a black eye. Because I stayed up so late, the effect? I was really tired the next day. So that's what you got to do there. You got to read the effect, and you got to tell me what do you think caused it for each one of those. Or sometimes they give you the cause, and you got to tell me what you think is the effect, okay? For 33, it deals with compound words. That's like base and ball. You put them together, baseball. Rain and bow, rainbow. So 1 through 6, you got to they give you a clue of which compound word in the red box up there, and you got to write the word that matches the clue. And then for 7 through 12, you got to read the meanings and think of a compound word that means. So let's try 7. A time you go to bed. Bed. Time. Bedtime. All right? So you got to write that for number 7. Then number 8, page 34, these are words that are vocab. They give you all the words and what they mean up in the yellowish, orangish box at the top. And then it says, draw a line through the sentence below in which the underlined word is not used correctly. So you got to look at the word that's underlined, and if it's not used correctly, why don't you just put an X on the number, and if it is used correctly, circle the number. So like the first one, Sam complained about his wet shoes. Did he use the word complain right? Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't be very happy with wet shoes. So we would circle number 1. All right? That's all you got today. Tomorrow we're going to work a little bit more with cause and effect with your reading assignment, okay? All right, second graders and Rodney, you're doing a little assessment. You have 3 sheets today. 2 of them are fact problems, 18-1 and 18-2. Not too hard. Parents, you can time them if you'd like. See how fast it takes them to get those completed. Check them over, make sure that they're done well. And the written assessment 18. This is just a review day. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Number 1. 42 children on the bus. 10 of them got off the bus. How many are left? So you got to tell me, decide, are we adding or subtracting? Write your number sentence and then write your answer. 2 is something we've been working on for a month now or so. Fill in that chart. Don't forget that 1 circle equals 2 cookies. 3, you got to have the mouth eat the bigger number or answer. And if they're the same, write the equal sign. Number 4 deals with money. You got to draw out some coins and then tell me how much money it is. Make sure you write it 2 ways, one with the dollar sign, one with the cent sign. 5, you got to use those 100 cubes, 10 sticks, and 1 cubes, I guess 100 blocks, I should call them, to show me 273. And then and you also got to write that in expanded form. Remember, that's like 300 plus 20 plus 4. That'd be 324. And at the bottom part, just a bunch of adding. You're not doing any subtracting on this one, so just a bunch of adding. Shouldn't be too hard, I don't think. Just one side, so you guys got a little break with math today. For reading class, second graders, today, on page 65, you got to write the word that matches each clue from the word bank up there. These are some of the words that you may be used to. Some of them might not know what they are. So you gotta, if you don't know it, skip it and do all the ones you know first, and that will help eliminate some of those. On page 66, you got to rewrite the sentence and take the word that's in darker print. Sometimes it's more than one word, and replace it with either he, she, it, or they. So instead of saying Mr. Holman ate ice cream, instead of Mr. Holman, you could say he ate ice cream. Make sure you write the whole sentence, write it nice and neat there for page 66. Page 67, you have a bunch of 20 vocabulary words on the side. For 1 through 5, if they have the R sound or air or ear, any of those R's, a vowel with an R sound, write those there. There's 5 of them. 6 through 12, write the ones that end in ND, NG, or NK. And then the 13 through 20, any words that have the long O sound. Then you have to go back to the story for Mighty Dinosaurs in your hardcover book to do page 68. You have to go to page 128 and 129 and tell me on each one of those pages, what is that page about? It should be pretty simple by just looking at it. Write that in the main idea. This page is about this. This page is about this. Then on the box next to it where it says details, write 2 things about it. So if I said page 128, I'm just making something up, is about baseball. Well, my detail might be, it talked about how pitchers throw the ball and batters hit it. Okay? So you have to do the same thing, but these are going to be dealing with this story, Mighty Dinosaurs, so you can guess it's going to deal with dinosaurs. Then you have 2 questions at the very bottom that you need to answer. Make sure you write them in complete sentences, start them with capital letters, end them with periods. All of that good stuff, okay? All right, third graders, math. Today you're going to continue on with your division. You're going to be taking a look at some dividing things, not just amongst 2 people or 2 things, but you're going to talk about dividing them amongst a couple of things. So let's pretend I had 18 books and I was going to divide them into 3 equal stacks. How many books would be in each stack? So if I was doing that, I would first start off by going like this. I would draw 3 equal stacks. And then I would start by doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I stopped at 18 because remember I said there was 18 in each one. And then notice each one of them has the same amount of numbers. This one has 6. This one has 6. So they're all equal. So my answer would be 6. Another easy way to remember that is just to do this. There is 3 groups. 3 times what equals 18. So that's kind of how we're doing it. This is a division problem. 3 times what equals 18? Well, we can go to our chart, or you just know it because you've been practicing your math facts so many times. We know the answer is 6. So Let's try one more. Let's say we had 12 coins and we're going to split it into 4 groups. Okay. So I'll do my 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have my 4 groups. And then I do my X's counting by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. Notice I did 12 and each one has the same amount. How many does they have? Can you tell? They each have 3. So my answer is 3. So 4 times what gives us 12? 4 times 3 equals 12. All right. So you're going to be taking a look at that on number 7 and 8 in your assignment today. You're going to have to split those into some groups. And to solve those, this is another step in our division there. I think everything else shouldn't be too hard, shouldn't be too difficult with regards to things that are too hard for you to know. You actually can skip number 20 today. And let's skip number 19. So you only have to go up to number 18 today. Okay? 1 through 18. I'll give you a break. You don't have to do 19 and 20. I think that'll give you a little break. You guys have been doing an awesome job on that math. Keep up that good work, okay? All right, for your reading, 3rd graders, and make sure also going back, if you have questions, feel free to get in contact with me. You're reading a story, Across the Wide Dark Sea, in your hardcover books today. This is a story about the Mayflower and how some of the first people to come to America, how their trip was when they traveled over on the Pacific Ocean. So read that story. I think it's a true story. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's a true story. For your workbook, we're going to skip a page, so don't do 81 and 82. But on 83, it says, if you were to take a voyage is like a big trip somewhere, where would you want to go? Describe the place and why would you go there? 5 sentences you need there to answer that part. And at the bottom, what would you want to go there alone or with other people? And what things would you bring? 3 sentences there telling me who would you want to go with, and then what items would you bring along on this voyage? Okay? You can cross off page 84. You don't have to do it. On page 85, you have at the very top, it says definitions you'll need to know. Okay, right there, you can see them at the top. What you need to do is you need to use those definitions and match them with the word that is underlined in each sentence. So, like the first word is journey in number 1. You got to tell me what does journey mean. Figure out which one of those up there on the top. Then on the back side, you have 3 questions that you're going to be answering. Like the first one, how does the boy feel when the journey begins? Well, you got to tell me some clues in the story. So what you would do is you would go and they said, he looks ahead at the wide, dark sea. Well, how there's something else that he did on those pages, page 158 to 161, that shows us how he was feeling. Okay, then what do you know? So what does that know? So let's say, I'm going to give you number 1. It says, the boy stood pretty close to his father and clings to his father's hand. That's another thing that he did while he was there. Right when the ship began. Well, we know that when we're scared, we like to be close to our parents, right? And maybe even hold their hand. So that's what we know. So then it says my inference. My inference is, what do we think about the boy? The boy probably is feeling a little scared. All right, so there's how we do number 1. So then number 2, it says, how does the boy feel 6 weeks out at sea? Okay, so you got to come up with one of the story clues that we learned about. What do you know? How you act? So what can you guess? How would you answer that? The boy's probably feeling how? And then you're going to do, how do people react to the report of new land? Tell me one of the clues. What do you know about how they reacted? How do you know when other people react like that? And then answer the question in my inference. It's a little bit tricky. It might be a little confusing. If you have questions, feel free to jump on one of the Zoom meetings. I'll be happy to answer anyone and try to help you through it, okay? 4th graders, you guys have a math assignment for Mr. Wasser. Make sure you're getting that done and turned in on time and the like. And then for 4th grade, on your reading assignment, page 65, you're going to find a story up there, but there's 8 mistakes where they use the wrong word for the word good or bad. So you need to circle them. Just go through the story and circle all of them. Find all 8 first. And then instead of writing the whole paragraph, I'm taking a little break here. Instead of writing that whole paragraph, You just need to write in order which word should actually be there on those lines down there underneath it. So make sure you write them in order so that way it's easy for me to figure out whose is who, which one goes with what. All right. But there's 8 mistakes total. Find all 8 of them. On page 66, you got to pretend that you answered the phone, and let's say the phone was for someone in your house that wasn't there. You need to take a message. You can make up whatever you'd like. Your message doesn't have to be super long. Make up a time, the date, all that stuff. But you're going to write a message there, like you're taking a phone message. But then on 67, this is kind of fun. On one side, you're listening to someone's message, and then someone wrote down a message on the piece of paper next to it, but they made some mistakes. On the top part and on the bottom part, there's 4 mistakes. You need to find those 4 mistakes by looking at the recording, the message, and see the person who was writing down wasn't very careful. So you need to help them so that way the message, when you hand that paper to someone, they get the right message. It's so very important when you're taking a message for someone that they get the right message, right? You don't want to tell your mom and dad, leave them a message, write them on the paper that says, hey, I'm going to the zoo, when actually it's supposed to be Zoom meeting, because your parents would think, oh, why'd they go to the zoo without me? They're not supposed to leave there, blah, blah, blah. So it's very important. Or maybe you wrote the wrong phone number or something like that. So please, be very careful, be picky, try to find those mistakes. Today you guys are kind of like teachers. You get to try to find as many mistakes as possible. All right. All right, I think that's about it for Wednesday. Like I said, Friday is going to be a pretty easy day as we're looking forward here, because it is Good Friday, and we normally had a half day on Friday, so we'll probably have maybe 1 assignment, maybe 2. We'll see. And then next Monday we won't have any school being sent out, no schoolwork being sent out on that Monday, because it's the Monday after Easter and we weren't supposed to have school that day. So I pray everyone's doing well, keeping healthy. Like I said, jump on board tonight. Make sure we're going over that social studies assignment in a little bit more detail. Or this morning you can jump on if you have questions, you don't understand something that I did today. I miss you guys. I wish we were in a classroom together and having fun, but this is the next best thing, I guess. And we'll get through it and keep working hard. So hope everyone's doing well. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.